Something pretty unprecedented is happening in the Scottish Premiership right now. If you go and look at the league table, you won't see Celtic or Rangers at the top. Instead, you'll see Hearts. Hello and welcome back to the Total Football Analysis YouTube channel, where throughout the week we're going to be diving deep into the tactics that make the beautiful game so brilliant. So let's go. Hearts are unbeaten. They're top of the table, 7 points clear of Celtic, and this isn't some early season fluke. No, they've already beaten Rangers 2-1 and Celtic 3-1. After a decade managing Aberdeen and Kilmarnock, McInnes took over at Hearts towards the end of last season. Since then, he's transformed Hearts into a tactically versatile machine, a team that can dominate weaker opponents and frustrate the old firm without the ball. Brighton owner Tony Bloom has purchased a 29% stake in Hearts for around £10 million. And with that investment comes access to a vast analytical scouting network, the same data-driven system that turned Brighton into one of the smartest recruiting clubs in the Premier League. So I think it's important to talk about just how big the gap is that Hearts are trying to bridge. According to Transfer Market, Celtic's squad is valued at around £117 million. Rangers squad sits at about £92 million. Hearts just £16.5 million, the fifth in the league when it comes to squad value. This summer, Hearts only spent £2.6 million on 10 different players. And here's the craziest part. 1.7 million of that 2.6 million went on just one player, a central midfielder from Portugal that's only made 3 appearances and had a hamstring injury for the majority of the season. So the real impact has come from 2 much cheaper signings: Portuguese forward Claudio Braga and Greek left winger Alexandros Kizidiris. Now, I should say a massive thank you to the brilliant writing team over on the Total Football Analysis website. I haven't been able to include every piece of detail in this one, so to check out the full article, go and hit the link in the description below. Claudio Braga arrived from the Norwegian second division, and on paper, his profile didn't scream future star. He only played 8 league matches last season due to injury, scoring 3 goals. The season before that, he posted 9 goals and 7 assists in 29 matches. But again, we're talking about the second tier of Norwegian football. Yet, it was Tony Bloom's model that flagged him. And at Hearts, he's been transformed into one of the best strikers in the Scottish Premiership and has transformed this team too. As you can see here, using our radar chart, Braga gets into the box and shoots at one of the highest rates in Scotland. He's formed a dangerous partnership in Hearts' 4-4-2 alongside Lawrence Shankland. Shankland drops deeper, linking play and receiving between the lines, whilst Braga attacks spaces, the half spaces too, and the penalty box. You can see from his heat map that he spends a lot of the time in those half spaces rather than standing between the posts. That movement makes him really hard to track, especially when Hearts are looking to attack in transition. He fits his profile perfectly. He sits in the top 2% for the most number of dribbles per 90 in the league. This is no poacher. He's a forward who can carry the ball, beat defenders, and creates his own shot. Alexandros was plucked from the Slovakian First Division, a pretty under-the-radar market, but since arriving, he's become one of the team's most important players. He currently leads the way with 0.82 goals and assists per 90 and has already racked up 4 assists, which is the most in the Scottish Premiership so far. Between Braga's movement and Alexandros' crossing and creativity, Hearts have found 2 game changers for a combined fee of only around £500,000. That's the power of data-driven recruitment done correctly. Now let's move on to the pitch. What exactly is Derek McInnes doing tactically to turn Hearts into genuine title contenders? Hearts set up in a flexible 4-4-2, and the key word is adaptability. When they play Celtic and Rangers, they try not to dominate the ball. In those matches, they're averaging 35% possession. Against everyone else, they try and flip the script, averaging around 57.9% possession. That ability to change their style in possession depending on the opponent is vital and gives them a chance to earn a positive result against anyone in the league. Which sounds pretty good, doesn't it, really? When McInnes was at Kilmarnock, his side relied heavily on wide play. And with this Hearts team, that's absolutely no different. This season, 75% of the attacks that Hearts have put together have come down the flanks, which is a very, very hefty percentage. You can see here against Celtic that Hearts are committing a lot of players to the central part of the pitch to create a 1v1 where Kasiridis burns his man to send in a cross that finds Shankland. Another situation you can observe is the fullback pushing forward to overlap the winger, creating a 2v1 out wide to deliver an uncontested cross into the box. Hearts are averaging 5.83 accurate passes per 90. As for their opponents, they're averaging 3.58. This is wide dominance, and it's wide dominance that's playing a huge part of their attacking identity. Another big factor in their success is set pieces. They lead the Scottish Premiership with 9 goals from set plays, and of their 15.3 shots per 90 minutes, nearly 6 of those have come from set piece situations. Corners, wide free kicks, rehearsed routines, second ball situations. McInnes has drilled his team and has made them fine margin monsters. Defensively, Hearts operate mainly in a 4-4-2 mid-block. They sit compact, deny central progression, and look to pounce on mistakes in the middle third. They average 15.9 high recoveries per 90, second only behind Celtic for that metric. Here's an example from their 3-0 win over Kilmarnock earlier this season. Hearts win the ball back from their mid-block. Braga and Shankland are perfectly positioned to attack the last line. They create a 3v2 break and eventually score. This is classic McInnes and classic Hearts from this season. Win the ball in a good area, play forward quickly, and punish teams before they can reset. From that 4-4-2 mid-block, Hearts can easily also drop into a low block when defending the lead. So a really flexible shape, and I come back to our buzzword that screams at me when talking and discussing about Hearts so far this season: adaptability. It's massive. They're not just compact, but they're also limiting both the number and quality of chances against them. Opponents are averaging only 8.9 shots per 90 against Hearts, with an average XG per shot of just 0.09, the lowest mark per shot in the league. From being miles behind Celtic and Rangers when it comes to squad value to sitting now above them in the table and not losing a game so far, their season has been remarkable. There's still a long way to go, but if Hearts can keep this up, we might be witnessing one of the greatest title shocks in Scottish football history. Hearts fans, let us know in the comment section down below. How are you feeling? Do you think you've got what it takes to go all the way? Because as we've discussed in this video, I think you've got plenty of those very, very exciting ingredients and the evidence you could beat the top teams too.